Hi guys, good morning and welcome back once again to the EdWord. I'm your host Eddie, and in today's video I'll be discussing what I thought of the super funny and super reference-filled, so many references all over the place, I loved it, episode of Star Trek Lower Decks, which was, like I said, pretty damn funny and pretty damn good. Now before I begin, of course, like most of my episode reviews, this is a spoiler-filled review, so if you're not caught up on Star Trek Lower Decks by at least this episode, you do not want to keep watching or listening, as I will be discussing spoilers. That being said, you have been warned. Let's dive right back into it. God, first and foremost, I think it's brilliant, and if Starfleet were a real thing, I feel like it would totally make sense. And if the drill instructor was legit and sincerely wanted other starship crews to pass these tests and drills, that they would totally use and reference all of the famous and infamous incidents documented across all starships, past and present, which is why there were so many references to the original series, to Next Generation, a couple of the movies, and a few other shows, where I just feel like they would use all of those well-known, publicized cases and incidents all throughout Starfleet and apply them to a training simulation to see how other crews would react to it and how they would handle these very potentially real life or death situations, because, you know, we see our characters and our heroes go through this shit on a regular basis throughout other TV shows of Star Trek, and they usually manage to get out on top, maybe with a few sacrifices here and there, but they usually prevail, you know, when it comes to life or death situations. So it would totally make sense that a test would be based off of one of those very real life incidents where Starfleet would have a lot of in-depth knowledge about, hey, this was a real life or death situation that the crew of the Enterprise faced one time, you know. And of course, the references were just all over the place, to classic Star Trek episodes, to classic Next Generation episodes. There's a reference to my favorite Star Trek movie, Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock, when they were doing the simulated test on the bridge before Mariner and her mom got into it, and they automatically failed it like that right away. Oh, God, and then the naked time thing was hilarious, with Mariner becoming distracted by Jax, who was doing his stretching, and then she thinks about him naked in the naked time mirror universe saying, "It's naked time!" And then Boimler, being such a stickler for detail, keeps testing and pushing himself. I mean, God, talk about commitment and dedication. That guy is absolutely committed to Starfleet and being the best he can be. So the fact that he kept repeatedly going back until he got almost a perfect score in his Borg encounter exercise, which was hilarious. And they brought back Alice Krige to voice the Borg Queen, which was great. That's one of her best known roles, and she is so great in it. She's done other horror and sci-fi roles since then, but a lot of people know her best as the Borg Queen. So the fact that they brought her back to voice her character's animated counterpart, pretty awesome. So yeah, super funny episode. And I also loved how by the end of it, both crews, the bridge crew and the lower decks crew, gained some valuable perspective about the other, perhaps even some more respect and empathy than they had before this episode started. And then I also cracked up with the final line of the episode when they're joking about Boimler being assimilated by the Borg, and he laughs weakly and says, "They took everything who I was." Oh, God, this show is too funny. There's shit like that just cracks me up. Great episode, super entertaining, super reference-filled. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. What did you think of this episode? I'd love to hear your thoughts and feelings on it. Thank you so much for watching. And it just occurred to me, though, that this episode is dropped. We only have 2 more episodes left before this season ends. So next week's episode, and then in 2 weeks, the season 2 finale. But not to worry, because the show was announced for a season 3 renewal earlier this year before season 2 dropped. So at least we have that to look forward to. But man, it's hard to believe this season is already almost over. Time flies. All right, guys, have an awesome rest of your day. If I don't see you, stay safe out there. And of course, until next time, live long and prosper.